Belfrage After Show. It is great to have you along. I appreciate it. Thank you, first of all, for following. Hit that like button, makes a big difference. And let's get started. I'm getting a number of emails. These are emails that I did not have time to share on the show this morning. Came in within the last hour. So Brian started. He said, we're talking about what's going on with the president and the Democrats and what might they do. So Brian said, what I see with this is absolutely sad. I have a unique perspective, having watched my mother decline from dementia, and it's obvious from what we're seeing and what the entire world saw is that the president is unfit for the job, he says. And those Democrats pushing to have him keep going is, as far as I'm concerned, elder abuse, he says. Chuck also sent me an email. Wasn't it the debate 4 years ago where Biden told us that parents needed to turn up the record player? Yeah, it was absolutely right. That should have been you think that was a tip-off, Chuck? I think maybe. Shannon said, what about all the executive orders that Biden has signed in the last year? If he is incompetent to be nominated, how do they justify allowing him to sign an illegal document? The issue of elder abuse, now the second person in emails, and I wasn't talking elder abuse this morning at all on the show. So these are your honest reactions. He said the issue of elder abuse is real, and those individuals that are putting papers in front of him to sign should be prosecuted, and nothing he has signed should be viewed as binding. At the bare minimum, he should not be allowed to sign anything. The 25th Amendment should be invoked. There are some that kind of feel that maybe that's the road we're on, to the 25th Amendment. Morgan says, I don't know if anyone has shared this theory or not, but I believe the shock and awe about how far Biden has gone mentally has been planned for months. If Joe withdraws from the race this late in the game, it allows the Democrat Party to install a candidate without subjecting them to the scrutiny involved in a primary contest. The American people will barely know who they are voting for, and they will simply vote against Donald Trump if the other person is normal or centrist. After all, that's what Biden ran on in 2020. It's a great point, Morgan. I'm not convinced that is going to happen, that the Democrats are actually going to replace Joe Biden. I think if anything we've seen is that they're willing to sink the ship. They're willing to sink the country. They are willing to. It's all for one and one for all. They're going to go down with the ship, I think, when it comes to President Joe Biden. I don't know. We'll see. And I may be shocked at what winds up happening, but it's been pretty crazy. Also, the Supreme Court, as you know, is set to release a big Trump immunity decision this morning, and they are apparently ruling right now, but I do not have details on this. Let's see if I can. Let's pull up X and see what maybe they've got going on X. Not anything I'm seeing at the moment. Let's go to, I'm going to pull up Free Spoke and see. I doubt they're going to have anything yet. Free Spoke show stories that are trending. Yeah, the Supreme Court set to decide on it today. Let's go see what we can find for live updates. Well, not there. So many of these sites want you to pay, and so many of these sites I would absolutely never pay. Yeah. Nothing at this point that I can see. See if Fox News is Okay. Fox News has got something here. Let's see what they've got. No, this is all story that they had earlier. They're trying to get folks to Justice Neil Gorsuch said during oral arguments for the case in April, we're writing a rule for the ages, which is one of the reasons why I expect that it took so long, that this is the last ruling that they're releasing prior to their summer break. Legal experts have told Fox it appeared the majority was not sold on the idea of absolute immunity. The question, I think, is going to be in the particulars. So they're releasing it as we speak, but the details are not out there yet. And I can't pull up, I can't pull up Fox News video since I'm not. So there it is. That's where it stands, I guess. We'll be talking about that tomorrow during the Greg Belfrage show. Certainly, as that ruling is unveiled as the day goes on, feel free to email your thoughts to me. My email is always open. greg.belfrage@kelo.com. It's the best email address to reach me. So also, Gretchen Whitmer, one of the names that's out there as potential Democrat nominee should Joe Biden not run. And I wanted to share this. Bill O'Reilly has been talking. He's got a piece that he published this morning that I wanted to share with you. O'Reilly says, because we don't use anonymous sources, I cannot confirm the following is fact, but I believe it's true. Right now, President Biden is emulating President Nixon at the end of the Watergate mess, trying to hold on to his job. But like Nixon, he will fail. Powerful voices inside the Democratic Party understand that the president cannot win re-election if he stays in the race. The Democrats may well lose the Senate. Already, they are assured of being defeated for House seats. And Joe Biden received more than 80 million votes in 2020. In November, he'd be fortunate to get half that number. Democratic fundraising will soon collapse in the wake of Biden's debate debacle, so he has to go, but how? That's the intense internal debate right now. There is no sliding candidate to replace Joe. Kamala wants it, so do Governors Newsom and Pritzker of Illinois. All are far left zealots, yeah, no kidding, with little chance to defeat Donald Trump. Michelle Obama could, but she's a mystery. Expect this, sometime soon, President Biden will step aside as President Johnson did in 1968. Vietnam got him, but first the K Street Democrats in D.C. have to quietly float replacement names with the top liberal media moguls. Something as monumental as this is not done spontaneously. The liberal media and Hollywood money, those people will have input, O'Reilly says. What is absolutely certain is that Joe Biden is finished as a powerful man. Shortly, he will have to go quietly into the night, pretty much dragging Joe Biden with him. Now, this is what Bill O'Reilly is saying this morning, that it looks like, President Joe Biden is not going to be the guy. And he has said, all right, here we go. Here's an update from Fox News. The Supreme Court ruled that a former president does have substantial immunity from prosecution for official acts committed while in office, but not for unofficial acts. So the court sent the matter back down to a lower court as the justices did not apply the ruling to whether or not President Trump is immune from prosecution regarding actions related to efforts then to overturn the results of the 2020 election. So once again, we see the Supreme Court. sending it back down to lower courts. I'm trying to look for actual comments from them rather than a rehash of what you and I have talked about numerous times before. Justice Samuel Alito questioned the repercussions of charging a former president. Alito said, now, if an incumbent who loses a very close, hotly contested election knows that a real possible nullity after leaving office is not that, I'm not sure that I understand exactly what he's trying to say off. The president being, I think what Alito is talking, sometimes these guys do not speak very clearly, and I wish they would. In other words, he's saying a president leaving office then may not be able to go quietly into retirement, but will in fact be worried about potential prosecution, Alito is saying. Will that not lead us into a cycle that destabilizes the functioning of our country as a democracy? And we can look around the world and find countries where we have seen this process, where the loser gets thrown in jail. Absolutely. See it in a number of different countries. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, this news is just breaking this morning. So again, they are sending this back down to a lower court on the issue of Trump's immunity. Justices heard arguments from Trump's attorneys as well as the Justice Department. Again, some of that is rehash of stuff we've already known. So the Supreme Court ruling of a former president has substantial immunity from prosecution for official acts while he's in office, but not for unofficial acts. And they sent it back down to a lower court. They did not apply the ruling to whether Trump is immune from prosecution. So the drama continues. And we'll see where it goes from here. All right. I shared Bill O'Reilly's column with you this morning at BillO'Reilly.com. And the question then is back to what we were talking about this morning, Democrats, and who might they wind up choosing then to potentially, if Joe Biden decides that he is not going to run, because really they cannot force him out. It would be up to Joe Biden. Based on what I've seen here over the course of the last few days, if Joe Biden decides that he's going to run, then he's going to run. So the Washington Examiner has a story of Gretchen Whitmer, and they say, some know her as Big Gretch, as buzz builds to her presidential candidacy in the Draft Gretch movement. But she reportedly threw her support behind Biden during a recent phone call and condemned shouts for her to replace the president. She declared Michigan no longer winnable for Biden. Wait a minute. She apparently declared that Michigan is no longer winnable for Biden in the wake of Biden's debate performance. But her name is among those being thrown around out there, along with the Vice President, Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. I don't think he's got the political capital to mount much of a threat to other Democrats, let alone Donald Trump. So we'll see. So the talk continues. The Supreme Court has ruled. We will talk about the Supreme Court's decision in more detail coming up tomorrow on the Greg Belfrage Show. I'll be able to take a look at that as the day goes on, more information comes out, and then be able to digest that and respond to it a little more cogently coming up tomorrow. So again, the ruling has just been released, and that's where we stand. I want to give you a heads up that I will of course, July 4th coming up this Thursday. I will not be on the air Thursday or Friday of this week, and then I'm taking vacation all of next week. So a lot of things going on this week. So it'll be an abbreviated week for me. No show Thursday and Friday, and then I'm taking vacation all of next week. So I just want to give you a heads up before that happens so that you know next week, oh, where's Greg? Some folks worry that, I don't know, that either, my well-being, that something may have happened to me, or my employment may be at risk. My employment is solid as far as I know. But if you know otherwise, would you email me? Thanks so much for letting me join you today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here and for following the Greg Belfrage Show. Smash that like button. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Tell your like-minded friends about what we're doing. Take care. Have a great day. So long until tomorrow, and may God bless.